Every little girl dreams about her wedding day, but more specifically, she dreams about the big, white, poofy dress that she gets to wear to make her feel like a princess. However, that is just today's perception. If you go back in time, you'll find that wedding dresses came in every color imaginable. It's because the economic situation of the world didn't allow women to have a singular dress for a one-day event. So they would wear whatever dress they had best in their closet, whether it be pink, purple, blue, any color at all. And this applied even to royalty, however there were exceptions like Marie Antoinette, who wore a dress once and then threw it out. Now, 1840 was the year that Queen Victoria got married and the year that everything changed in wedding history. Because she wore a white wedding dress to make a statement, and along with the increased communication at the time, her image as a white bride gave the lower status women something to aspire to look like on their wedding days. Now, fashion didn't change much between 1840 and 1920 other than the fact that corsets and bustles went away. However, in the 1920s is where you get the Prohibition, and a lot of things changed. You get the flapper-esque look, and one thing that is very key to being a flapper or having the flapper look is having either the dropped waistline or the fringed dress. Now, in the sense of weddings, the long veil made up for the fact that the bride was wearing a short skirt. Even the Queen Mother followed these fashion trends, however her dress was long because she has to keep up her image as queen. Now, the 1930s brought with them a change in terminology. No longer were wedding dresses called dresses, they were called gowns, because gown means importance and elegance, and indeed they were, because the gowns were long, often with extended trains and flowing veils, and a poofy sleeve that tapered into a narrow wrist known as the Gibson girl look today. The 1940s, there weren't a lot of weddings at the beginning because all of the eligible men were off at war. However, once they all came home, the dresses were magnificent because brides wanted to get as far away from the rationed fabric and food as possible. So they made their weddings extremely extravagant. Now, the 1950s was the golden era, the era where the wife was slave to her husband and children and home. However, on the day of her wedding, she was the most important. So the dresses were very big and also very extravagant in the sense that there was a lot of beading and lace work on the bodice. The 1960s were very loose and flowy, very much with the peace, go with the flow kind of feel that the hippies had. And there were actually a lot of outdoor weddings as opposed to the church weddings that had been traditional. Now, the 1980s, there's only one word and one dress: big and Princess Diana. Her wedding dress had a 25-foot-long train and yards of tulle and taffeta and silk and hundreds of pearls. As you move through history, move through time, and you get to the 1990s, you see the emergence of a slimmer, more fitted wedding dress. One new silhouette that emerged was that of the mermaid, which is tight-fitted through mid-thigh and then flares out. So it was a mixture of modern and traditional. At the turn of the millennium, things got much more sleeker and fitted to the woman's body because that was what is known today as good fashion, as something that fits a woman and that fits a woman's body. Also, at the turn of the millennium, you see the emergence of themes, which is over-exaggerated in Katherine Heigl's 27 Dresses film. Now, in our current decade, a lot of emphasis is placed on the dress. Everything is about the dress. The TLC television series, Say Yes to the Dress, takes you from family drama to the end where she is in tears saying, yes, this is my dress, this is the dress that makes me feel like a queen. And then you also have the wedding of the decade so far, Kate Middleton's Cinderella-style wedding, where she wore a brilliant Alexander McQueen gown for the ceremony, but then afterwards she wore a more modern white gown for her reception later in the evening. This is often the case with brides today who want their party to be just that, a party. And that brings us to today. Now, today brides are striving to be original because nobody wants to walk into a wedding and say, hey, she's wearing the same dress as me. No, that just doesn't happen these days. Nobody ever wants to hear that. So, one way that brides are being unique and original is by adding color to their dresses. And the most prominent color has been pink. Now, On our pink wedding dress wall of fame, we have Gwen Stefani, Anne Hathaway, Reese Witherspoon, and most recently Jessica Biel. These brides were all criticized quite harshly for wearing pink. However, if that's the dress that makes them feel like a bride, who are we to critique them? For the future, there's really not much that we can do other than dream, because all a wedding dress and any type of fashion really is taking a dream and putting it to fabric and thread.